Hey guys, so in this one we're going to create a widget that will display the abilities, and then we're also going to modify our quick slots so we can set abilities to them and also use them. First thing we're going to do is set up the function that will teach us the abilities, so then we can display only the ones that we have learned. So let's go to ability component and create new function, and this one will be learn ability. It will have an input which will be abilities enumerator, and this one will be just ability. What we need to do is do enum to string. We need to get info from data table, so get data table row. Connect this one here, change it to abilities, and then what we need to create is another map array, so we can duplicate these ones for cooldowns, and this one will be learned abilities. And let's change the second variable to ability struct. So it will be abilities / ability struct. And then we just need to get it, add, and we will add this ability and this outro as a struct. And now we have a map array with all the learned abilities and all the ability info. So then we can use it. Compile and save. And you can see how powerful this can be. Then we can just talk to the merchant and call learn ability, and for some certain gold he can teach us the ability. Or I know a lot of you have been asking how to add abilities to the weapons. Well, you can just create the ability variable on the weapon, and then when you equip it you can teach yourself that ability, and then forget it when you unequip the weapon. So it can be very customizable. Again, I'm not going to do it now. Just for now we're just going to have this learn ability, and what we're going to do in the player in event graph on begin play, we're just going to learn those two abilities that we have created. So drag out ability component and learn ability, duplicate it, and first one will be Stormform and second one will be Whirlwind. Whoopa, I went to it. So change it, and also this needs ability component. So now as soon as we start the game we will learn these two abilities. We'll do it in a different way after. One good practice would be to have a default one, so then when we're adding it to array or something we can change the first one. So let's do that. In enumerators, find abilities, and let's add new one which will be default, and move it here to the first position. Save it. That might mess up some of the functions that you already created with it, but this one seems fine. So Stormform and Whirlwind. Compile and save. And now we want to create widget that will display it. So let's go to widget, right click, user interface, and widget blueprint. This one will be user widget, and we'll call it abilities underscore widget. Open it up. Here we need canvas panel, but nothing else. This will just be added to our interface. And then to display the abilities, for now we're just going to do simple wrap box, and then add query to the middle. Let's change the size X to like 500 and 400. Obviously we can customize it later. For now this is not the important part. I want to do the quick slots. So after we have wrap box, one more thing here, change the inner slot padding to maybe 4 and 4, so there is some space between abilities, and then make this a variable called abilities box is variable. And then let's go to graph, and what we want to do on construct, we want to create custom event which will be build abilities, and this is just so we can call it from somewhere else if we need to as well. And then on construct just call it build abilities. What we need to do is let's get player controller. We need to get the abilities component, and the easier way without the reference or casting would be get player controller, then get controlled pawn, which will give us the player because we are controlling player, and then get component by class, and which will be ability component. Also another way is just to get player character, and then from ability, not ability set, cd ability component, We will get learned abilities. Values keys, which one? Values. We need only values. Now we need only keys, my bad. So get keys. And what we're going to do is from keys do for each loop. I did bit break, so just for each loop. So for each ability that we have learned, we're going to create widget. Create widget. We don't have widget created. We need one that will be like an ability button that we can press and then set it to quickslot as well. Or like, you know, have a view, a tooltip and stuff. So let's create one more widget. User interface widget blueprint and user widget. And this one will be ability button underscore widget. Here, let's open it up. And what we want to do is let's just add overlay. We don't need canvas panel here. And to this overlay, we're going to add button and also image. This button will be ability button, and this image will be ability image or icon, whatever you prefer. Let's make sure both of them are filled horizontally and filled vertically. And the way we're going to control the size of this button itself is we're going to change the image size to like 70 times 70. I think that's the size of our icon. I'm not sure, but whatever you prefer, you can increase it here. Because then when we set the icon, it will change that size and it will resize this overlay, which is the whole button. And now in the graph, we want to create the ability itself. So ability variable, type abilities, enumerator, make it instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. And then in the abilities widget, now we can just create the widget, which will be that abilities button. Ability will be this one here. And then from return value, we need to get abilities box and add child to that box. And this will be return value. Now to actually show something on the abilities button, on construct again, let's create custom event. And this will be display or set ability button, which will set all the info that we need. And here set ability button. We will also need a player reference, so let's get one before. This time we need to get player character, or we can do the same, the controlled one. I'll get player character cast to player BP, and let's promote it to variable called player reference. And here on set ability button now, what we need to do is get this ability. Again, we need to first get data table row, enum to string, connect it here, change this data table to abilities, and from out row, we can also promote it to variable, even though for now we need to get it once, but later when we change the style of the button or something, this will be abilities info. We'll keep the reference. And then from the abilities image, we're going to set texture. So set brush from texture. And this one will be break it open and connect icon. I've updated 2 of my icons for stone form, just for the rubbish ones with PNG and transparent background, but just so you're not surprised. And we're calling it here. So that's pretty much it. So now let's set it up in the interface, because in the interface we already have these buttons here. Instead of skills, I'm going to do abilities. Just makes much more sense, because abilities probably include spells as well. Skills kind of sounds like it's like melee skills or something. So I'm going to rename this to abilities button, and This one will be abilities text. And then to this tab switch, which is widget switcher, we need to add the new abilities widget. Just add it to tab switch and it will put it on the index 1. So this is 0, this is 1. So now in the graph, when we click on the abilities button in event graph, we do have already this set up that will turn off the other one, and we'll do this tab switch, copy it, and here on clicked on abilities button, we'll change the index to 1. So now play the game, go to inventory or interface, click on abilities. There we go, stone form and whirlwind. I can't click on it because the button is behind it. So what we're going to also do is go to the button, and here on the image, go to visibility and to not hit testable, self. And all children, doesn't matter, self only probably. Compile and save. And now I should be able to also click on them. Cool. So now we have abilities. What I want to do now is when we click on them, we open the Quickslot box so we can set the Quickslots. For that, we will have to rework Quickslots quite a lot because we need to be doing two different things on abilities and on Quickslots because it's not the same array, not the same type of the variable and stuff. So let's rework it. Let's close this button and abilities widget, also interface, and this one, and even data table. And first thing I'm going to do is let's check in the options widget how we're actually doing it when we press the Quickslot. We can probably copy the functionality. So here when you find on clicked Quickslot button, we're creating black screen, setting it as the widget to close, adding to viewport, setting input. This focusable shouldn't be set here anymore. That was updated in Unreal Engine. I'll leave it for now, and we can just copy this whole thing without the button. Copy. Let's go to, well, I closed the abilities button, so open it again, and let's paste it here. Then select the ability button and click on this on-clicked event, and let's add it. Black screen is the same. We do have player reference, so we got widget to close, add to viewport, same, is focusable. As I said, I will leave it. Might throw up some flags, but for now I'll leave it as it is. And then add child to that black screen, and this we don't need. We don't need to remove from the parent because we're not removing the abilities. It is only for options widget. So compile and save. This should be all. Now it opens the Quickslot, but we need to tell this Quickslot box what type of Quickslot we want to create, if it's ability or if it's for the item. So we could be doing it with the Boolean variable like isItem, and we will check it through, and false would be ability, but I like to do it with enumerators. So let's create new enum, and this one will be Quickslot type underscore enumerator. Open it up, and here we'll just add item or ability. Save it, and now back in ability button, search for this Quickslot box. Open it up, go to graph, and here we're going to add variable which will be Quickslot type, because we need to pass it through this box to Quickslot. So Quickslot type, and it will be the Quickslot type enumerator, and we'll make it instance editable and expose on spawn. And also what we want to do is we need to pass the ability to this, so the ability that we're clicking on, because we do have active item info when we click on items, but for abilities, let's do the ability. This one will be ability enumerator. Abilities, my bad. So abilities enumerator, and let's make it again instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. Back in the ability button, right click and refresh this, and our Quickslot type will be ability. When we actually setting quick slots from items, it will be item because that's the default one. That's the first one. And for ability, we do have an ability that we're clicking on this button. So, wrong one. So pass it to this ability. And again, it's changed. So ability, what is going on? There we go. Ability. And now quick slot box. We are building quick slots, and the quick slots also need to know what quick slot type we're doing. So search for quick slot, open it up, and here we will need only the quick slot type, which will be the quick slot type, enumerator, and again instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. Now back in a quick slot box, refresh this again, and we have successfully passed it all the way to quickslot and change it to ability. Alright, so now quickslot now we are creating abilities. So in a quickslot widget, let's close this type and let's close options widget. So we will have to rework this. First, when it's constructed, we will leave this part binding, but here it's checking if something is already equipped in a quick slot, so we can show it on those quick slots that we're opening, we're setting. So here we're going to find item in a quick slot item info map, but if we don't find it on false, then we're also going to check ability map. For that we need to create one ability map. So let's go to player, because this is created in player 1. Find that quick slot map and just duplicate it, and this one will be quick slot ability map. Quick slot ability map. And we could be doing ability struct, but I think it's better later on for using it and everything if we just do abilities enumerator. So integer and enumerator. This is slot index and this is which ability we have there. Compile and save. Now let's go to quick slot, and if we haven't found the item, then we're going to get player reference, get quick slot ability map, and again we're going to do same thing. So we're going to find this slot index and check if it has any ability, so we can get the icon and stuff. So connect it here. If it found it, true. We're going to, we don't need class, we don't need count, we only need slot icon. So copy this, true. And for slot icon, we need to actually find it. So from this ability map, we do have ability here that it found. We're going to do again enum to string. Just right click, get data table row. Connect it to true. This one will be abilities, and row found goes here. And connect it to row name. This one will break open, and we need to connect icon. This is only done once, so we don't really need to save this, because apart from that in the quick slots, once they are set, you don't really need to get this data table and stuff. So just leave it, we don't need it as a variable. And then what else? And we do have set quick slot. Sorry, I can't speak. Set quick slot. So this one. Double click on it. Let's see where it goes. And in the set quick slot, again, we're doing the item count and stuff. We don't need to do that, because now we know if it's item or quick slot. So get this variable, switch on it. And on item, we will do the same thing, but we will need more space. So move everything down. Did I move the right? No. So this one as well. This one just a little bit. We'll still need more space for this. So now on false, if it's an ability, we don't need item count. We just need this part here, so we can get it and set it like this. And here we're setting the brush from slot icon, which we have set previously. So set brush, we can do it in an easier way. We are going to do set texture, set brush from texture. So that's texture directly, remove this, and set it from slot icon. All right, this slot icon is texture only. Let's change this variable type to texture 2D, because that's the one we're setting in most of the places. So change variable type and let it compile. That might throw us some errors. So now slot icon can go directly to texture, compile, we'll see the errors, slot icon only one. And that's going from event update quickslots, which is the interface function. So it's probably in the quickslots interface. So quickslot BPI, update quickslots, and change this to texture 2D object reference. Compile and save. Hopefully this doesn't throw us more errors. And this one can be now connected to this one here. Oh, disconnect it first, and then there we go. Compile and save. So that's fine now. So set brush from texture. So if the icon exists, we will check both of these arrays, and then we will set the icon to it. So when we open the fresh quickslots to set them, it will already have an icon that needs to be there. Then the important part, when we're setting the quickslots, we're setting it with clicking on a quickslot, and then we basically getting info from the quickslot box and setting it to this quickslot. So here, let's drag this back, and even this set visibility, it's the same. But before this class, we're going to get quickslot type again. We're going to switch. And if it's item, we're doing still exactly the same thing as before. But if it's ability, we need to set slot icon. So get it here. And as you can see, we're getting it from quickslot box, because this is before this quickslot itself is set. We're just clicking on it for the first time. So from quickslot box reference, we got the ability. And then unfortunately we need to get data table row again one more time. So get data table row, just row this one from abilities. This one we need to convert again enum to string, and we will get out row, and if row is found, we'll break it open and then set the icon to this one. After icon, this is count, we don't need that. Then we do have a function that will remove duplicate quickslots. So paste it here with the player reference, and we will have to rework it. So open it up, and this is quite difficult because it's a little bit of a mess. That's basically finding all the quickslots that are the same but are not in the same slot that we're clicking on. So in the beginning, we need to add input again, and this will be, it's flicking around, so this will be quickslot type. Okay, so this is annoying, so always select it, make sure you're changing the correct function, and this one will be quickslot type enumerator. One more, and this one will be abilities or ability that we're going to check, and this one needs to be abilities enumerator. All right, so these two new ones. Now we're going to switch on quickslot type as well. If it's the item, we don't have to change anything, we're doing this part. But on ability, we do have function setup, and it should work if we just change the map array. So let's copy this part without the last thing, we can keep that. Paste it on the bottom. And now what we need to do is on abilities, we need to switch it over to different array. So this one set members can go. Quickslot item info map, we need to get quickslot ability map. We need to get values as well. yeah, you can connect it to values. And from values, we do have two outputs, which one go to find. So do find item. And the second one goes to length. So do length. Then from this find, hold control and transfer these two nodes here. Delete the find. And from length, also hold control and transfer it here. I missed, so if it's greater than 0. Was it 0? I'll control Z just in case, yeah. Cool. So delete this. And be careful here not to mess up, because this is a difficult function and it's hard to figure out, so we just need to replace what it does. So now we do have values. We don't have any output, so we can delete this, connect it, and this will go to ability. So this is first part. Here we need to, don't forget to connect ability. We can get it as variable or just drag it all the way, because that is what we're finding. And then we need to replace the keys. So again, move this, and from this ability get keys. And it will go to get, let me see if I can just transfer it. Yeah, that's fine, okay. So transfer it from this keys to this keys, and then connect it to true branch and through. And we can now delete this map. It will just go to remove. So maybe we can connect the same one. Yes, that's fine. And there is one more node I think missing here. What is it node equals? Slot index. I'm going to get it as variable here. Get slot index and connect it to this first part here. So have a look at this function again. This is what it needs to look like. And then once we remove it, so it finds the duplicate quick slots and then remove it. And then we need to go to update, so remove duplicate, which is the same. So compile and save. Now next one we're doing is, let's go to event graph of the quick slot. We do have this remove duplicate, so now as you can see we need to connect some of the things. So here this will be ability, and for the ability we do have ability, this one here. So copy this and connect it to ability. Now we need to add it to the array because we just set it. So get player, get quick slot ability map, and add to it on the slot index, and the ability is this one here. Now since we're just setting the quick slot, what we need to do is also change this quick slot type manually. So set it here, and here it will be ability, and on top branch, let's move this back, it will be item, and then both of them will go to this get all widgets of class, and that will update the quick slots. So got this set up as well. Compile it. For the update quick slots, it's basically sending information to all of the existing quick slots, but the ones we're clicking on are created in the inventory or like in the abilities widget, and it needs to update the ones that we have on the screen in player HUD. So that way we need to also pass to this update quick slot what quick slot type it is. So let's go to interface function, in update quick slots, create new variable, and this one will be quick slot type, and it will be quick slot type. And then in the quick slot, just connect this variable quick slot type. And then since we're going to set quick slots, update quick slots, sorry, let's go to event update quick slots. Move this back. So here we need to refresh it. There we go. So in the update quickslots switch, we can keep this first part because it's just checking if this is the same slot. Item goes here, and on ability we only need to set the slot icon from here, same as the top branch. Item count again we don't need, and then it goes back to this part. And then we're setting the quick slot. I think that we already modified it. Double click on it. Yeah, we have it modified. So the one last thing remains is use quick slot. Update count we don't need, and event remove duplicates. That is all the same. So just use quick slot should be the last one. So now when we use quick slot, we're going to get quick slot type, switch, and if it's the item, we do the same thing. Since we have item count, we need to do it again. So we need to check one more branch, move this down, and then on ability, let's copy the branch, paste it, add it, and it's just checking if the slot index equals the same one. So the one on the screen equals the one we have on the player hat. And item is the same, and if it's true, then we're going to use that ability. And for that we can just we do have player reference here, so get player reference, get ability component, and use ability. And ability, did we promote it to variable? Okay, no, so we need to find the ability as well, and that is in the quick slots. So from player, get quick slot ability map, find ability on slot index, and connect it. That is the one we are using. Compile and save, and if you did everything correctly, we should now be able to actually set the abilities. So let's check with the items. Set quick slot. Oh, it's not setting it now. So something is going to be wrong. Probably abilities are the same. Oh no, abilities I actually can set. Alright, so let's see what I messed up. So in the quick slot, when we click on it, it's not setting the items. So that can only be on clicked event. Is active, set visibility, item and ability, set slot icon. That is fine. And then item, and it's connected. Here on the bottom, this is not the issue, but we're missing slot index to remove duplicate quick slots. So we need to add that. Here we're also missing one thing, but that's not the issue again. The only issue would be that this thinks that it's ability, so we can't set it. Quick slot box, that's item. Oh wait, stupid. So this needs to be set from the variable, not manually. This is quick slot box. Here we're setting it from the variable because in the ability button we're passing that variable, and we're making it ability here, and in the options widget it should be item by default. So then we need to connect it as a variable to let Quickslot know what it is. So that should fix the issue. But what I noticed, there is one more thing we're missing, and that is when we set the Quickslot by clicking on it. If there was an item before and we're setting ability to it, we obviously need to remove that item from the array on the slot index. And same thing if we're setting item to an ability, we need to remove that ability from the array. Otherwise here it will fail on construct, because here we will try to get the item that still might exist. So let's move this back and get this quick slot item map, copy it on the bottom and remove, and this will be slot index. So if it exists, we will remove it. And now copy this one from the bottom, the ability one, and we will remove it on item. So remove that slot index that we're setting. and connect it here. So that should be all. Let me just quickly have a look. This Quickslots update, I think we need to set one thing as well. We need to set the Quickslot type, because this will update and pass it to other one. Yeah, just let's do this and set it to ability, and before here set it to item. Oopsie, what have I done? Set it to item here. Right. And now let's test it out. Pick up some items. Let's try to set a quick slot. Number 1, that's working fine now. If I move it to different one, it moves and removes the duplicate. Same one works. Different item, rewrites it. That seems to be working. They're working. And now if you do abilities, click on them, set it to first one, it's working fine. Set it somewhere else, that's working fine. Same one, working fine. Overwrite item, that's working fine. And then also overwrite this item. And now let's try to use them. So you can hear the item, hear the click or whatever it's called, because I don't have a weapon equipped, so I'll equip the weapon. And now, there we go. I use the ability, and on third one, I use this one. Alright, and there is not much time in the video, it's very long already, so I'll move it to the next one where we do actual cooldown. So we'll display the cooldown either by number or probably by some overlay that will go like a clock, you know, just hide like a World of Warcraft style or something. We'll see. Alright, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye!